Welcome back to Quickie Wiki What. I'm Joseph, joined as usual by my partner Justin. Every episode we bring to the table a Wikipedia article we found interesting and attempt to explain our articles to one another. As usual, we are streaming this episode live on Twitch. Hello to the chat. But you'll also be able to find the VOD on YouTube afterwards, as well as the audio wherever you get your podcasts. Hello, Justin.
Hello.
How's your week been?
Yeah, well, it's off to a good start. Quickie Wiki What? Episode 2.
Recording on Monday.
We
made it to episode 2.
All the way. And for a special treat, number 2.
Yours is poop.
That's got a little bit of that in it.
A little bit. We're not going to advertise it as poop because I don't want to scare people away right
That's
at the beginning.
That's just a little bit of it.
If you're eating, it'll be fine.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. You don't know mine. You kind of do it right now. But you didn't know previously.
I didn't know. I don't even know what this is.
So let's say ours. You went first last week. So I'm going to go first this week.
Okay.
Mine is a little creature called the Fouke Monster.
The Fouke.
Have you ever heard?
F-A-L-K.
F-A-U-K-E.
Oh, Fouke.
It's a town in Arkansas, and it's a local Arkansas folklore. If you're new listening to the podcast, I grew up in Arkansas. I grew up hearing about the Fouke Monster. This was partially I wanted to know more about it, personally, the history behind it. It's a cryptid, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, kind of along those lines. There's a lot of them in the South.
The word cryptid, we looked that up today.
Because I told you, that was my only hint, was mine's about a cryptid. And we asked Google what a cryptid was so you would know. And you knew.
And that's it.
And now he knows.
It's like an unverified monster.
Now,
rumored.
Yours is...
Mine is...
You want to tease it?
So this is... it's about a very early scientist who studied about weight, physiology, people metabolizing food, and things like that. And so he was, I'll just say, a very dedicated, and he had some quirks to him. But
who doesn't? We love quirks.
We sure do. But this is like if I were a scientist, a real scientist, then I'd be like, okay.
So we've in the title you will see this called the weighing chair.
Yes.
Which I guess gives you a good preview of what's to come.
Right.
Wait, what? You don't have to tell me, but tell me the time period before we start.
1500s.
50? I didn't know it was that far.
1500s.
1500s?
Yeah.
I didn't know yours was that far back. I thought it was 1800s.
Ancient
I'm
history.
I'm interested. I'm invested. Okay, are you
Turdology.
Ready? Is that what the chat said? Turdology.
There you go.
We have in my Twitch chat, we have a poop emote. It's
That's
the Tamagotchi.
Wonderful.
If you're watching the VOD, I've got my Tamagotchi right here in front of me. We got the Tamagotchi turd emote.
All right.
So I can't really say that we don't have turd talk. You say, welcome to my turd talk.
Ancient turdology.
If you don't start yours, welcome to my turd talk. I'm going to be very upset.
Well, there you go.
Okay, so let's get into the Fouke Monster. So we've, as usual, looked at these Wikipedia articles within the past week. You can look up the Fouke Monster and follow along or find more. I'm going to give you kind of as usual, condensed. Along with some information that I found outside of Wikipedia.
Ooh.
I clicked some of this is what your teachers tell you to do that you don't actually do. You click the sources.
Click on the sources.
And half of them are just there are some that really do lead to nowhere, but these were good ones. I got some good ones. Okay, so the Fouke Monster, let me paint you a picture, okay? The year, 1970s, okay? You in the woods. You're in the woods in Arkansas. You see a creature. It's running through the woods, kind of like a monkey. It's bipedal, but it might occasionally, arms hitting the ground. Between 7 and 10 feet tall.
Ooh.
Head to toe, long dark hair. I think shaggy. We're not talking Pantene.
Okay.
Red eyes,
Red.
Red eyes.
Wow. Like glowing red.
Allegedly glowing.
Wow.
300 pounds, potentially up to 800 pounds. There's been some discrepancy in people's in the story.
That'd be hefty. 7 feet, 800 pounds.
I know. Well, it's apparently very agile. It can run really fast. So it's a very tall creature.
Okay.
You notice the smell.
Oh.
It's a mix between skunk and wet dog.
Oh, wow.
I know what you're thinking. It's not your Grindr hookup. This is the 1970s. It's before Grindr.
Pre-grind, but being out in the woods.
In the wood. Well, that's where it would throw you off. Out in the woods is where you expect to meet. But no, this is the Fouke Monster, a.k.a. the Boggy Creek Monster or the Swamp Stalker. I grew up hearing it as the Fouke Monster. But those around the United States may know it as more the Boggy Creek, but more on that in just a second. So sightings allegedly started, some say back in the 1850s, some say 1940s, but the report that kind of launched the extravaganza around it happened in May 1971 in Fouke, a sleepy town in southern Arkansas. Population at the time, I think, was around 500.
Okay.
Now it's around like 800, I think.
Ooh.
So it boomed. It boomed. They're booming.
Everyone wants to see this monster.
There is a
scare him away.
Lot of tourism.
The opposite effect happened.
Oh, yeah. So let me take you back to May 1971, when the alleged attack happened at the home of Bobby and Elizabeth Ford. So I actually found the original article that I believe was printed in the Texarkana Gazette, I think, and it tells the quotes from them. So I'm going to give you some of their own words. Okay. So Elizabeth Ford said she was sleeping in the front room of the frame house when, quote, I saw the curtain moving on the front window and a hand sticking through the window. At first, I thought it was a bear's paw, but it didn't look like that. It had heavy hair all over it and it had claws. I could see its eyes. They looked like coals of fire.
Ooh,
real red.
Coals of fire.
It didn't make any noise except you could hear it breathing.
Wow.
I love this is like campfire story. I love this stuff.
Claws, red eyes.
That is interesting. It says looks like a bear's paw, and it had claws. I think bear's paws do have claws.
I think they do. Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I'm not a
like
bearologist.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you for sure. That's not my Wikipedia article. It's not my specialty.
Bear.
Now,
week.
They spotted the creature at the back of the house with the aid of the flashlight. It says, quote, we shot several times at it. What are you going to do? You're going to shoot it.
Yeah, it's Arkansas. Of course. You should write if they didn't shoot.
That would be stranger.
Yeah.
Well, it apparently attacked him. So, shot several times at it, then called Constable of Fouke. He brought us another shotgun and a stronger light. So the constable's providing backup.
Okay.
Backup gun. We waited on the porch and then saw the thing closer to the house. We shot again and thought we saw it fall. Started walking towards it, then heard people back at the house screaming. I have to say, it sounds like I was trying to read all of the different accounts of this night, what happened on this night. It's a little difficult to get like a clear picture of maybe what all was happening because it sounds like they were stalked by this thing all night long. Now it says, Bobby went back. I was walking the rungs of a ladder to get up to the porch. So that confuses me. I don't know why there's a ladder.
To get up to the porch. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what the porch
Arkansas.
situation was. When the thing grabbed me, I felt a hairy arm come over my shoulder, and the next thing I knew, we were on the ground. The only thing I could think about was to get out of there. The thing was breathing real hard, and his eyes were about the size of a $50 and real red. I finally broke free and ran around the house and through the front door. I don't know where he went. That was Bobby Ford, what Bobby Ford said. I think they moved out like right afterward, too. I think they had only been in the house like a week, and I think they were like, we're getting the hell out of here. We're done. That's not the move.
Yeah. Well, that's.
Would you rather? So I want to preface this. I don't believe in Bigfoot, cryptids. I love hearing about them.
Well,
but I don't believe in them.
You know, was it someone dressed up trying to scare him out?
Well, there was some damage to the house. It said they found 3 toed footprints. They thought they shot it. They couldn't find blood, so allegedly didn't shoot it. They found some damage to the house. I think scratch marks, stuff like that. And this was just the beginning, though. Wait, do you believe in like Bigfoot and Sasquatch?
Well, no,
Yetis?
not really. I mean, I think there's probably some bear that looks like something or a person that looks like a bear, but it's not like so the movie me growing up, Harry and the Hendersons, which is like where is
that a comedy?
It's a comedy where they John Lithgow is the dad, I think, and he they find Bigfoot and he comes and lives with them and his name's Harry, and they kind of it's a comedy of errors. There's misunderstandings. Your favorite.
So I hate misunderstandings in sitcoms. So you're basing your belief off of Harry and the Hendersons?
Something
is that
that's
what you're
like
saying?
that. That's like a creature that is definitively like
an unknown creature.
An unknown.
You don't believe in that,
right?
Did you ever see that show? I think it was called like Finding Bigfoot or something. And every single episode, they hear it or they find something that they're like, oh, that Bigfoot was definitely here. But they never find Bigfoot. Never found. And I just think that's a little suspicious.
You know, and so like these people.
The tree knock. Yes, someone in the chat mentioned the tree knocks. The Bigfoot contacts you, hears you in their forest, knocks on the trees. It's got to be Bigfoot.
Well, yeah. Couldn't be a woodpecker.
No.
Knock.
No. Knocks on the trees. Okay.
Well, but okay, here's another theory too.
Yeah.
Like the Fords, what if they've only been there a week? They're like, okay, we don't really like this place. Let's think of a way to get out of it. Let's get, yeah. Oh, we could say Bigfoot tried to kill us.
Well, I don't know if they owned or rented. In this economy, I could see you getting out.
There's second guessing.
Because the rent market,
you know, that having a porch with a ladder, not as appealing as I thought, you know.
We had a really high porch at the house I lived in Arkansas because we were like on a hill. But there were stairs. But maybe on the other side there was a ladder. I don't know. I couldn't get a definitive layout of the situation. All I know is these quotes from the original article. Now, I will say later that month, an ape-like creature was reported crossing the highway. I believe 3 people reported it. There were more sightings in the following months. More 3-toed footprints were discovered. A radio station in Little Rock put out a bounty of $1,090 on it. I think they were. I think
was that their calling card? 1,000.
I think they were
1090.
Is that is radio AM FM?
Yeah,
I think it might have been AM 1090.
Okay.
Hunting parties formed.
Wow.
Now it says that the sheriff issued a no guns policy to preserve public safety. I couldn't find anything official on that. I saw that like the sheriff said, this thing isn't hurting you, don't shoot it. Something like that.
Yeah.
3 people were fined $59 each for filing fraudulent monster reports. I read that like maybe they had just been drinking and they were like involved in a kerfuffle amongst each other and file. I don't know the situation there. So interest is settling down, you know, after partially from, you know, filing a fraudulent monster report. No one wants to get fined or whatever. However, the next year, 1972, a little movie came out called The Legend of Boggy Creek.
Ooh.
Made by a local filmmaker, I believe. I haven't seen it, but it's like a cult classic now. And it did really well. So it was a docudrama horror film about the Fouke Monster. I think they did some... So once again, I haven't seen it. I would love to see it. I think they do some like interviews with the actual people do some reenactments, stuff like that. I think it said it was made on about $160,000, 160,000, and grossed allegedly about 20 million. I think I read it was the 11th highest grossing movie that year.
Wow.
So it did well. It had good reviews. It had a cult following. It spawned some official and unofficial sequels. Yeah, I want to watch it. Someone in chat said, I don't know where you can get it.
Watch party. Yeah.
I know. Legend of Boggy Creek watch party. Now, alleged sightings, that kind of drummed it up again. There's a big thing. Now, alleged sightings do still happen. I actually have a personal story.
What?
So I was young, and this was like an elementary school teacher who told me this is like, my friend's cousin sort of situation,
Did you file a false monster report?
No, I've never filed a report. This didn't happen to me, and I'm probably misremembering it.
All right.
So I just want to stack on layers and layers of allegedly right now.
All right.
Allegedly, I had a teacher, and allegedly that teacher's husband was on a trip and was driving down the highway and was tired, so pulled over in the middle of the night around the Fouke area, took a nap, woke up to bang, bang, bang.
No.
That was a monster sound. Something trying to get in the car. Allegedly. Honestly, she could have, this was elementary school. I had my brain was not working fully in elementary school. I was still forming my brain. So she could have told me that someone just tried to kidnap her husband or something, and I'd be like, the Fouke Monster. So in my mind, I remember it that she said that she layered it, implied the Fouke Monster.
But it could have, she didn't say, but it could have just been like,
I feel like she implied it, but I may be misremembering. But that's just what I heard. But that's just me.
That is.
But that's just me.
But it's valid.
I don't believe it.
It's valid.
I just maybe think it's probably not a good idea to sleep in your car on the side of the road on a highway. But, you never know. Now the reality. Let's get to the reality of the situation.
Wait, this hasn't been reality so far?
All the evidence, anecdotal. In the South, there's a lot of Bigfoot legends. People think hoax. All of the three-toed footprints. They think mistaken identity could be a bear, mountain lion, puma. I think there are black bears in Arkansas. I think I read that. I think they're hunted in Arkansas.
Well, and then there's animals that escape from the zoo. It could have been a gorilla.
I don't think there were no reportings. Although when I was little, a lion escaped in the town that I grew up in, and we had to lock down the elementary school when I was in elementary school. Or it might have been in middle school, but they locked down the school because the lion was on the loose.
Lion on the loose? And maybe they just didn't realize it. Maybe they're kind of like, how many gorillas?
I don't think
6, 5, 6? I don't know.
I think they're supposed to count every day.
But then it'd be like if you miscounted, or if you got it wrong, if you let one loose and it's your job to keep them, you might be like,
you get in the pen and you wear a gorilla suit until the other one is found so that you don't get fired.
That's my dream job.
You get your partner. If I were a zookeeper and I lost one of the gorillas or something, I would get you a Bigfoot suit. I would make you live in that pen until I found the real gorilla so that I wouldn't get fired.
Bonzo lives.
That's what. No. Justin's favorite movie is Going Bananas. It's not a good movie.
You can watch it on YouTube.
It's ironically his favorite movie.
It's wonderful.
I think. Anyway, the monkey's name is Bonzo. So, lots of similar cryptid legends in the South. You got the Honey Island Swamp Monster, Momo the Monster, which I hadn't heard about, and the Skunk Ape, which I think is in Florida, which is Skunk Ape.
Yep.
Smells.
Someone in the chat has talked about Skunk Ape.
Oh, well, there you go. Skunk Ape.
Yeah.
Now, today, you can go to the Fouke Monster Festival. I believe the proceeds support the local school district. That's great. So, good things coming out.
Sure.
It's great for tourism, allegedly. So, I found so THV is one of the news stations in Arkansas. So, last year would have been the 50th anniversary.
Wow.
I think. And so, they had an article, and they said they've had visitors from all 50 states. 24 countries.
Jeez. Okay.
And there's a Monster Mart in town, which is kind of like a Fouke Monster museum. So it's spawned it's part of its folklore. It's
the Fords.
I guess. I don't know what happened to them. I don't know if anyone's talked to them since.
Yeah, that would be good.
I think they were in their I think Bobby Ford was like mid-20s around when this happened.
So they've been like 70.
So yeah.
If they're like, they would fess up maybe if they...
I think so. I was reading, like, I didn't write any of this down, but I was reading, like, people were like, yeah, these are like, the people reporting it are respectable folks. These aren't people who would make stuff up, allegedly.
They're not out brewing moonshine in there.
It's mistaken identity is kind of what I would think is going on. Because I wouldn't call everyone who reports something a cryptid, a liar. I would maybe just say, oh, it's either someone in a suit or mistaken identity. Bears walking on their hind legs, mountain lion scratching you.
Yeah. Or it could have been a couple of different things. You know,
they could have left in a wig.
They could have left. They ate barbecue. They didn't. They left it out, and a few different animals came and tried to.
There you go.
You know, there's a new place. They're unfamiliar, and like sometimes when you like say something and you like can't remember it, and there's like I was reading that book on memory about like when kind of like the way people ask you questions and you can kind of corroborate things and you can create like false memories.
Oh yeah, like I did with my elementary school teacher,
sure, yeah,
who probably didn't tell me about the Fouke Monster at all.
Yeah, there you go.
Something to think about. Do you have any similar stories in Kansas? Are there any like? You know, I feel like I've been to Kansas before you get started. I've been to Kansas twice now, 2 or 3 times.
I think so.
So that's where Justin grew up, if y'all don't know. It always strikes me how flat it is.
Very.
Like, it's very I didn't really think it was that flat. I feel like if you saw, and there's not a ton of trees. I mean, there's woods. Right. So I feel like if there was a cryptid, you'd just be able to see it.
And it'd keep walking, and he'd be like 3 miles later. It'd be like, how you can't really. So it would go into like a wheat field. Something like that. There's no like, you know, we have fast food. There was also, they made a movie called King Kung Fu.
Oh, kind of like a Godzilla. No?
It was a man in a gorilla suit that knew karate.
King Kong. Oh.
And it was a kind of a slapstick humor movie, and it was set in Wichita. But that's kind of the closest thing. So it's kind of like where, you know, you've got like this movie about the Boggy Creek. This is that version of it, but it's just a hilarious comedy.
That's not the same at all.
It's just a hilarious comedy.
I don't think they're out there people believing that King Kung Fu is
not a real thing.
Was it claymation? He was just in a suit.
It was a man in a gorilla suit. And then there's a little bit of stop motion. They climbed the tallest building in Wichita, like at the end of Kung Fu, and they...
What was that movie that we randomly watched on Netflix that turned out to be good? That was like Kung Fu something, and it was like wild. Do you not remember? And then you told your friend about it?
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't even tell you. If you remember that movie, you should watch it on Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of... So someone mentioned Sasquatch. There's like a lot of that also in the Northwest.
Yep.
In Canada. All of the cryptids. They're either there or they're like down in the South.
Then like Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, that's, you know,
smash or pass.
Because there was like a whole thing. It's like, I thought maybe when I was like 10 years old, I'm like, maybe it is a dinosaur. Maybe it's a dinosaur that lived.
And now?
Now, I don't know. And I watched, it was one of those things. I watched the video, and then they like had a thing in the water, and you'd see like this big fin of something, and it's like there's probably some big fish in there.
I don't think Justin knows what smash or pass means.
I don't.
Chat. That just means, you know, would you smash it or pass it over?
Oh, smash it as like you like it.
Yeah. You
Or
really like
So
it.
smash is like, oh, I like it.
Oh, like smash that. Oh, yeah. If you're watching this, be sure to smash that like button on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't believe in anything. I want to. Like, I wish we lived in a magical world where, like, yeah, some shit could still be hidden. I think the only things that are undiscovered is like a few ant species, and like I know things are discovered, new species are discovered all the time, but not big ones. It's always like a new beetle in the Amazon, a new ant hill that had slightly different ants. It's never something fun like a pterodactyl or like a megalodon shark. It's always something. It's always something. Yeah, something not fun.
Yeah.
Bugs aren't fun. Bugs aren't the move.
Get something bigger. Science. Get something bigger.
I need you to find out. I feel like Kansas has to have something. At least something haunted.
I
don't believe in that stuff either.
Yeah. There's probably some haunted stuff in Kansas.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the Fouke Monster.
The Fouke Monster. That was fascinating. You learned something. What is it? What is the name? The Boggy?
The Legend of Boggy Creek.
Ooh.
Yeah, cult classic. I'm going to watch it this week if I can find it. So you'll be watching it too.
All right.
So what's this about a weighing chair?
Wait. Get it?
Wait. How long do I have to wait?
No, okay. So before we get going, the name of the guy that I'll be talking about, and I, like you, I have a one in particular was a really good like outside source. But so the guy's name that we're going to be talking about is Santorio Santorio, and it's
the exact same.
And it's kind of a weird thing. Like this is like the 1500s, and it's Italian. So he's got like there's a few different Wikipedia. It's like all these different names redirect here. So he went by a lot of different things. So Santorius, Santorio, Santori, and then a few other kind of similar names. But for the purpose of this, I'm going to say Santorio, Santorio. There's also another good like article on some of the related like scientific fields he's credited with pioneering and things like that.
Oh, so he's got like he's cited. Well, his science probably doesn't match up with today's.
He's still like pretty revolutionary, as you'll see. But then there's also there's this ongoing. It's like they study history, the history of science, and this I think she must be a student or working on her graduate degree. Teresa Hollerbach has this really long outside article called "The Weighing Chair of Santorius Sanctorius," and that's another one of his names, I guess. A replica.
A replica.
So they're rebuilding it to try to like see what it was like to have used it.
So what is this weighing chair?
So this is, I'll go into kind of like a little bit of like my personal routine, you know?
Oh, your morning and evening?
Yeah. So get up in the morning, Piggy like licks me and stuff like that. And I wake up, get out of bed, go to the bathroom.
Piggy's the dog.
Piggy to bed. Yeah. I go back and weigh myself every morning. I have a digital scale.
You like statistics.
I like yes. I'm a nerd, and I got my and I do like other hell. I've got my watch. I've got all kinds of stuff.
You go to the bathroom and then you weigh yourself.
And then, so that's like my consistent routine every day. And I've got like my same weight, and it's kind of like, that's what it is. And I think like everybody acknowledges and knows, has some intuition that your body weight kind of changes throughout the day, right? And it obviously, this isn't about like if you're trying to gain weight to bulk up or anything like this. Is just like your daily, say in the context of this conversation, you're like a constant weight.
Unless I'm sweating a lot.
Well, no. But I'm saying like your overall, like my morning weigh-in is like the same every day, more or less.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not the whole point of this, he's not like going into like, how do you gain weight and lose weight and stuff like that. He's just like, what does your kind of like cycle look like? And that's what he's kind of getting. That's what his experiments, and that's what he's trying to kind of like answer.
So what did he do with this? Because they didn't have traditional scales that you step on.
Well, that's right. So like, as you kind of like throughout the day, you maybe wake up, you go to the bathroom, and then your weight goes down, and then you have some breakfast, right? And for breakfast, you have like your corn dog and a bowl of Sour Patch Kids.
So sure, that's the breakfast of champions.
Weight goes back up, and so then, but they didn't really understand all this back then. They didn't care. Nobody was weighing themselves every day, and like you said, they didn't really have like a bathroom scale. So but what they did have is they had like these big like balances, and they'd use it to weigh like giant sacks of flour. They'd weigh.
Oh, right.
And so
food stuff usually.
Yeah, or livestock, these big things. So he got one of these installed in his house. And by the way, like by then he was like kind of a good scientist. He went to medical school. Kind of a good scientist. Well, but he was like he was a doctor.
Review.
But okay.
Right, but like legit. Kind of legit.
And like he was in Venice, and like he was friends with Galileo.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he ran around in that circle,
Well, Galileo was like stars, right?
He invented like the telescope. And so they both invented things and would kind of like, we're in circles and like, hey, I invented this week. And then I invented this. And they had a few like back and forths where they would kind of like one up each other. And Santorio he invented like, and kind of the field of medicine that he's credited with starting is really this idea that you should measure yourself, So he has like a thermometer, like temperature.
Oh, just like different aspects.
Yeah. How to take your pulse, that kind of stuff. And then the weighing chair is kind of like one of his more like extreme things.
And what is it?
So basically,
tell me more about this chair. Was it a rocking chair? Was it a nice recliner?
Well, it does not look comfortable because you can go on the Teresa's website and she's like rebuilt it. And there's some sketches that he did back in the day, But so it's like this wooden, like it looks like a throne almost, a wooden throne, and then it's supported from like it's on a scale. It's hanging from.
It hangs.
It hangs.
I thought it was just going to be like on a massive scale, like when you take your dog to the vet and it stands on the big old scale.
No, it was like hanging in his dining room.
I don't know about this. It was a sling, yeah. They say it was a sling.
Well, just wait for it.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
tell me all what he measured with.
So this is from the article. It says Santorio used the chair device to weigh himself and everything he ate and drank, as well as his urine and feces. He compared the weight of what he had eaten to that of his waste products. So
what he was doing all day, every day. How many years he did this?
Well, that's it. It's on and off. Well, and it is unclear, like if this was one continuous experiment. 30 years.
30 years.
That's
every
dedication.
Every time you poop, jumping on the chair. Wait, does he not have to like take all his clothes off for it?
So that's what it kind of sounds like is he'd weigh the before and after. So you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna weigh myself, go do my business, and then come back and weigh myself again.
With the exact same thing on.
Yeah. I
was imagining every time you gotta pee, get naked, go pee, jump on the chair. I mean, that makes a lot more sense to what you said. But yeah. So all of his bodily fluids and solids in and out. Eat a corn dog, sit on the chair.
Yep.
And so what was the...
And so, but, there's all kind... And this is where it's a little bit speculative, but there's like some rumors that he did some things like he was doing like speculative, like he was doing like sexual experiments where he'd go and like sleep with someone and weigh himself before and after. So, how does that impact
Red flag.
Yeah.
Red flag on that date. Red flag.
Well, that's kind of the sling, right?
When your partner says, right after climax. Oh, be right back. And then they have to run home and weigh themselves in their weighing chair. Red flag. You're not taking that home to your parents.
Well, no. Well,
Was he single his whole life?
You'd have to take him. I don't know. I didn't see that. I was really kind of curious about like what his, because would be very disruptive to just your personal life.
Yeah, that sounds awful. I think it'd be less so today, especially in a work from home environment.
Yeah.
I would not want to do this though. So was there anything interesting he found out about like what you eat and what comes out? I just always imagined it's pretty equal. If I'm staying the same-ish weight, what I'm putting in is coming out, you know?
Well, and he did. And it's
someone said Galileo's over here discovering planets and his BFF's over here measuring his turds.
Well, that's kind of okay. So I was thinking it would be like good to have like a sitcom or something like that, or a movie, you know, and it's like you got Galileo over here doing this, and then Santorio is in there. Hey, Galileo, can I measure your turd over there? You know, and he's kind of like the quirky, like if it was like Seinfeld, he would be like bullied. Kramer, you know?
Oh.
He'd be like, hey, I mean, and it kind of backs it up because.
And his mom comes in, she's like, get a real job. When are you going to get a real job?
Yeah.
You know.
Even though he's a doctor.
When are you going to get married? That stuff.
And Galileo,
he is a doctor.
You need to settle down with some. Quit messing with us. Why women don't want to.
Yeah, well, how many of the same partners was he able to test that with? Because I imagine it was a one and done with everybody after they found out he was going home and weighing himself. They were out of there.
I don't know, but they you know, he had clients and stuff too, so it was like his treated people, and this was kind of part of like he's trying to look for things and make recommendations on the ratio. You know, he had these theories on your ratios, what they should be.
Okay,
but kind of like a bit more about like the Kramer idea. You know, here's an actual quote, and where he's describing in his actual like medical journal about why the chair is constructed the way it is. And the part of it that's like a balance that supports both ends is called the steel yard. And that's kind of like the lever that you balance it on. It's a big, long piece of steel. And he had it installed above his ceiling so you wouldn't be able to see it. And so it was a little less. You still had a chair hanging. It was a little less.
Okay.
So his description of why it's there is, and I'll do like I'm not going to do an Italian voice, but I'll just do a little bit of a voice.
Thank you.
The steel yard is suspended from the beams above the dining room in a hidden place because of the nobles, as it renders the room less appealing, and because of the ignoramuses, to whom all unusual things appear ridiculous.
The haters.
The ignoramuses. He's got, I guess, a lot of people he considers ignoramuses that come into his house.
That was a word that people used to use. We call them the haters. If you can't handle me at my weighing pooping chair, then you don't deserve me at my Lizzie McGuire, Isabella Parigi.
Hashtag. That's the origin of Paolo.
Sing to me, Paolo.
There you go.
Lizzie McGuire movie out there. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Best movie ever.
That was our first date. My first movie I watched with you, Lizzie McGuire movie.
You quoted it in our wedding vows.
And I quoted it in the wedding vows?
Yeah. That's how I knew.
First movie you watched, Going Bananas.
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't but when me and Justin first started dating, he kept talking about this movie Going Bananas, which is been mostly scrubbed from history, I believe. It's available on the internet in places.
YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube.
And so I watched it. I was like, I got to figure out who this guy is. So I watched it and I stayed. And I kept talking to you. Now, if I had come in and there had been a pooping chair, a suspended chair, I would have double stayed. I would have said, yes, sign me up.
Because I got...
Hello, Rich.
Yeah.
Rich enough to have suspended chairs in your house?
And name brand paper towels.
Name brand paper towels and a floating chair?
Yeah.
Hello, 2044. This is the future that we wanted. Flying cars, flying chairs.
There you go.
Okay, well, it sounds like he was a pretty fun guy.
Well, yeah. So, but what did he find out? And it is kind of like a very interesting, discover. Well, I guess it was a discovery. Maybe he kind of had an intuition about this already, but it's like you were saying before, it's like you would be kind of like, okay, what goes in and what goes out, and to use a little bit of like, medical terminology. You've got your food, you got the eating,
sure,
right, and then to go and out, you've got the two medical terms. You either have poo-poo pee-pee, or some doctors say doo-doo wee-wee.
You wrote this down, didn't you? You like set up this whole joke.
In my notes.
This is poo-poo pee-pee and doo-doo wee-wee.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the 4 P. I'm a 4 Ps.
I'm not a scientist, so I can't dispute it.
That is. So whoever had Mariah, I think, had the medical Zoom interview tomorrow with the medical company. That's some knowledge you can pass along.
Wow, chat, we're really helping you out with your daily lives.
There you go. But so, what's the difference between the in and the out? And I'll give you a number because this is what it's based off of. If you eat and drink 8 pounds worth of food, water, whatever, what is your 4 Ps out?
So I drink and eat 8 pounds of stuff?
Yeah.
I would say just in poo-poo, in pee-pee, I'd say like 6 or 7 pounds.
So what's the chat? I'm curious of the chat.
But then the rest is like energy, like it's coming off me as heat or like sweat or, I don't know. I haven't been weighing myself in my pooping chair lately.
I know. That's why we should do it. People are saying 4 pounds, 5 pounds. So the answer is if you eat 8 pounds, or this is what he discovered back then. If you eat 8 pounds, you're only getting 3 pounds out through the whole day.
Wait, so 8 pounds in, 3 pounds out?
Yeah. And so then that's 5 pounds that goes somewhere else. This is the mystery. This is the Boggy Pond mystery.
Creek.
Yeah. Boggy Creek.
That was a whole ass creek.
Oh my gosh. But this is kind of like his core discovery, because we've got the conservation of mass. It doesn't just disappear, right? It's got to turn into something else that still has mass and then go somewhere.
I would say my prediction would be energy. Some of it's used to make energy, which is oft as heat.
No. That would
produce heat.
That would be like an atomic reaction to do that.
That's like no. You can just have heat.
No, you can.
That's like rubbing your hands together really fast, or starting a fire, rubbing the sticks, Boy Scouts.
But that would break down and have a chemical thing, and they would still have the same amount of mass in your body. But so I'll give you the answer. So it is like, it's all coming out as like essentially water vapor. So one of his observations was sweat and breathing. So like if you go and you breathe on a mirror or something, then it's got just like a little bit of water is going to condense on the mirror, and that's coming out of your body. And you breathe something like 20,000 breaths a day. So all that little bit adds up a little bit. And then also kind of like you're not really sweating, but you're perspiring, your body's cooling system. So even if you don't get
I'm sweaty.
No, but even if you don't get wet, then your skin is still just very evaporating.
Oh, I know.
And then there's other you cut your hair, you trim your toenails, things like that. But it's mostly the breathing and the sweating.
You put on a latex suit if you want to measure that sweat.
Keep it all in your chair. Wear it in your chair.
Sweaty.
In your latex suit. I think that's good.
So it sounds like, do you know what this reminds me of? And it reminds me of a horror manga by Junji Ito. I think it might be called The Chair or something like that. But it's about, when you were telling me about like this creepy chair, there is this horror manga, and it's about a guy who, I think he's a furniture maker, but he makes a chair where he can get inside of it. It's a big old armchair. And so he's sitting inside of it. So his lap is like the seat of the chair, and his arms are inside the arms. And so when you sit on the chair, you're sitting on his lap.
Oh, wow.
And it's
but
like
you just
gross.
don't know about it?
You don't know about it.
Is it like soft or is it like a wood plank on top?
I don't know. That's not part of the horror. It's like you're sitting on his lap.
Okay.
And was like in this chair for years and years, and like open it up. Like someone found out about it, and then they opened up their chair and like they found the hole in it after they had felt like someone touching them maybe through the chair and stuff. So it's a good one. Junji Ito's got some great horror mangas. I don't think there's a doorknob on the back of the chair. It's kind of like a secret entrance. But it's a good one.
Wow.
If you like creepy. So that's what I was thinking of when you brought up. I don't know, because I guess someone pooped in that chair too.
Yeah. So you wouldn't hang from the ceiling and it would weigh, you know?
I guess.
Not as good as this chair. So they did, like I said, they are like recreating the chair. And because this is like a long time ago. So they don't have his actual scientific notes and things like that. So they're trying to rebuild it it's the Max Planck Institute in Berlin or something like that. Where they research like history, and they're trying to like use this chair to kind of like rediscover what he was kind of looking for and how he did his work. And so that's that research that's happening over in Germany. But I thought, wouldn't it be great if somebody did some research here in the United States?
That somebody is not you, by the way. If anyone in the chat wants to really take the helm on this one so that Justin doesn't.
Oh, but I did.
You did?
So this weekend, did you notice me like weighing myself a little more than usual or weighing my food a little bit more?
No, I didn't.
Well, I did.
And so what were you doing?
Well, this
you were
was
eating,
just
pooping, peeing, and then running into the. How did I not notice you scurrying into the bedroom?
And I was
sleeping in there. I was napping.
Well, I just weigh myself a little bit throughout the day, not every single time. And this is where I have kind of a newfound respect, because this is very disruptive to try to do this. I did it. I was able to make it all day Friday, and then I did it a little bit on Saturday, and it was just kind of like, it's hard, you know, like.
Yeah, sure. I would imagine it's inconvenient at the least.
Like, so, and there's times you got to skip. Like, I went to the dentist, and I was like, I need to go to the bathroom when I was at the dentist. I wasn't going to say like, hey, can I weigh myself?
You should have weighed after like the plaque got scraped off your teeth.
Oh, that would have been good.
I guess that's not really. I don't know what that's like. I don't know where that comes from. I guess that comes from the food we eat.
Probably. But
what was your what'd you find out from this?
So first off, he was dedicated because he did this for 30 years, you know?
Yeah.
And was like weighing himself all the time, weighing what he ate. Just weighing what you eat is hard enough, you know?
Sure.
That's all you'd really have to do is just weigh everything you eat and then weigh yourself once or twice a day. And you know the difference. You just keep track of when you did it. So that was good. And then I was kind of surprised how much I ate. Because I didn't really, my weight from the Friday to the Saturday didn't really change. But I ate like 10 pounds of food and water. You're supposed to drink like a gallon of water every day.
Right.
And that's like 8 pounds. And then you drink more food, you eat more food on top of it and stuff. So, and just how much is cycling through your body. I never tried to actually quantify that, but I didn't do anything interesting experiment wise.
So your body weight didn't really change amongst all of this weighing and eating and drinking.
No, it would go up from the beginning of one day to the beginning of Saturday.
But overall, it was a net nothing.
So it would go up. So I would eat some stuff and it would go up, and then, go to the bathroom, it would go down. I'd wait, a couple of hours just through breathing and perspiring. And sure enough, it kind of it definitely wasn't most of my weight, I got a sense at least, was kind of like that ratio, that probably 8-3 ratio.
Oh. Well, with very limited, that's a day's worth of
That was
data.
a day's. And you would have to do it for a really long period of time.
Well, I am excited for you to write your paper and send it to the research team in Germany. I'm sure they'll be very happy to hear this episode.
They will.
Hear what has happened to you over the course of a weekend.
Yeah. Well,
without your husband's knowledge.
My tour.
How many times were you weighing yourself a day? I never noticed.
I think
You're the one who doesn't notice things.
I know. But I think, and I was being a little bit sneaky about it on purpose.
Oh, because you wanted the reveal. You wanted the reveal live on camera when Maury announces,
yeah,
your husband has been weighing after every poo. You are the father.
It's for science.
I don't. I can't believe
science.
The chat said couldn't believe I didn't. I can't believe.
Well,
I noticed everything.
It wasn't because I do weigh a lot of stuff. I weigh my coffee. The scale's right over there to weigh the food. So you'd be kind of like,
what did we eat this weekend?
Well, Friday was salmon. No, that was Saturday. Friday.
Did you weigh your plate before?
I don't remember because the salmon is when I stopped on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Whatever we ate on Friday, I weighed. I ate pizza a couple of times during the day with ranch. And so that was one of the things because I was trying to because you're like, oh, don't put the pizza on the plate and your ranch. And I was like, oh, I wanted to weigh it.
Well, I'm just shocked and I'm excited to see what twist you'll have next week.
I don't quite know what next week. I'm thinking of doing one that's about memory next week. I can't. I don't know. I would even do a twist.
I'm probably going to do an easy breezy next week.
Yeah.
Or something fun. I love monster stuff, haunted stuff, but I'll try to keep a good balance of it as well. Yours seem to be very sciencey though. It's nice to see what you're picking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, shout out to Santorio Santorio. Thank you so much. Your legacy has lived on in this podcast.
Yes.
Shout out to the Fouke Monster for keeping it real down in Arkansas. Do you have any last words for the listeners?
No.
No. Well, I guess we can't really do a teaser for next week because we're not totally sure what we're going to do.
Mom and Dad are flying. Safe travels if you're listening.
Safe travels if you're listening. Good luck with your job interviews if you're in the chat. Yes, the lamp is behind Justin. That is the fringe lamp if you're watching this live or watching the VOD.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, great articles. As usual, these both came from wikis. We did use some other outside sources, but there's lots more information out there. I feel like LeVar Burton at the end of Reading Rainbow.
The more you know.
No, but I think those were on PBS, or maybe they weren't.
That was NBC.
That was NBC. Excuse me. But where he's like, go read more. You can read a book too. I know you can. So there's tons more information about these subjects out there. Go check them out. Go do some fun research. And thank you so much for listening to Quickie Wiki What. Once again, you will be able to find this VOD of the episode on YouTube. We're going to be posting new episodes on Wednesday, doing them live on Monday, posting them on Wednesday, as well as you can listen to the audio. Where did I say LeVar Burton? It's LeVar Burton, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, Reading Rainbow.
Yeah,
and the hit television series Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Love Star Trek. Anyway, you can listen to the audio wherever you get your podcasts. We will be streaming next week's episode live once again here at twitch.tv/halfmoonjoe. So we will see you then with more wiki articles to discuss. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.